Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today I have a special guest for you. It's Devin Swank, lead singer from Sanguisugabogg, or however, how is the name actually pronounced? Did I get that right?
No, you butchered it, but it's
Cool.
Sanguisugabogg.
Sanguisugabogg. Okay, I'm not.
You got it.
I definitely butchered that. I took the time to space it out and make it sound as white mommy as possible. Like,
Hell
oh, I
yeah.
heard you're into that band Sanguisugabogg. What I gotta ask right off the bat, what is the craziest pronunciation of that name that you've heard?
um, like I don't know, for someone to, I mean, the craziest ones, like anytime I hear like a lowbrow like jab at it, where someone puts a bunch of words together. Like I think the Sandra Bullock Bob is pretty out there, or Sangwa sucks some balls is
That
another one.
one's that someone thought real hard about that one.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, man, I'm not even mad. I'm actually impressed.
Honestly, yeah. Here on the Metal Meltdown, we've sometimes I've had some people I've just said it myself. We've sometimes just said sausage cyborg.
That's sick. I like that one.
Yeah,
Uh, Corpse Grinder called us Samsung Sudafed on tour. That
that's
was
pretty
really
good.
cool.
I'd wear
Yeah,
that like a badge of honor. I'd put that on a t-shirt and everything.
yeah.
Welcome to the Metal Meltdown, by the way. It's kind of interesting having you here because 2 years ago, we gave Tortured Whole like a 2 out of 5, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. But hey, it's all good to have you here. With that in mind, I want to talk about something right off the bat. You guys are known for having a very good sense of humor in dealing with really negative reviews and comments online. And I want to know if there was ever a review or comment that like really ever did get to you.
Uh, no, man. I mean, it's death metal. It's not for everybody. Um, you know, I I don't take any offense to it. If I did, then I I wouldn't be along with like making jokes as well about it. So, um, yeah, no, nothing's ever really stuck. Um, I mean, shit, I've had people like say shit to my face, and I just eat it like it's gum. I don't let it get to me.
What kind of stuff would people say to your face? Like, is it just like, ah, whatever, your band is mid or whatever? Or will they say something like really fucked
Yeah.
up?
Sometimes it's just like drunk dude like buffoonery. Like they try to come up and say weak set, or they talk shit about our music and kind of like the effect that we have on the scene where a lot of younger kids are making similar style of music. And they say that like we're butchering it or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, I for as any for as much hate as I get, we get like 10 times the amount of love. So I don't let the shit get to me.
I mean, you guys have really blown up in these past couple of years too. Like when Tortured Whole came out, there was a good amount of hype around that. But I mean, since
Mhm.
then, I mean the money the tours speak for themselves, the merch sellouts speak for themselves. I mean, you guys are about to go on tour with Dying Fetus and Suicide Silence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've been busy. We've dedicated our lives to hitting the road and playing music. So we
How do you
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. How do you feel Sanguisugabogg has evolved musically from like Tortured Whole and Pornographic Seizures?
I'd say we've definitely stepped up a lot of things musically. I personally wasn't so huge on Tortured Whole, so as far as like songwriting wise, uh,
Oh,
just be- just because we were in a really big rush, when it came to recording that. Um, at the time, our original guitar player also hadn't practiced with us in like 7 months. They would keep bailing on us. So we kind of just like created it, all within a number of days, just during COVID and everything. And some of those songs that were on there were songs that we played. They were in our set from like a year prior. But yeah, a lot of that album, it wasn't anything that we've all given much like thought or anything into, to be honest. With this record, with us touring and taking it very seriously to be a working and functioning band, we ended up delaying the recording process actually 4 times, just because we wanted to be happy with everything. So, this one we actually put a lot of heart and a lot of hard work into it.
And in an interview that Cameron Boggs did in the past, they said they had written 90% of Tortured Whole on acid. I know they're no longer a part of the band, but I'm guessing that very much was not the case for Homicidal Ecstasy then, by your description.
Yeah, no. No, we wrote all of it like in the midst of touring and everything too. So, we would take these small Boss Katana amps. I'm sure you're aware of them. You could take those in there, and we would actually hook them up into the green room, and we would hook them up to the car speakers and shit too. And we would actually we'd actually just riff and tap, do some drums, and try to come up with some cool patterns. And then we were practicing like 3 or 4 times a week even. It's crazy because like you look at the Tortured Whole lineup and everything, and once Cameron moved out of where he lived at just north of Columbus, we didn't really get to see them that much anymore. And before they left the band, we didn't practice for like 7 months. So plus they didn't drive, so it was my job to like piggyback back and forth, and they had a daughter that they were raising as well. So with this lineup, us having like way more freedom, and us just really like jamming together, like we spent a lot more time and put a lot more heart into like carving it out and everything.
Wonderful. If I may say, I'm not just saying that because you're here or to save face with the death metal fans who gave me crap 2 years ago. I actually think Homicidal Ecstasy is like a massive glow up. Like you can hear it, the writing, the production. It's way tighter, way better, way heavier. It's great job, honestly. Spoiler alert, I guess, for the upcoming review.
Oh yeah. Did you? I know the PR and everything likes to send it out. Did you get it and listen to it?
Yeah, I got it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I finally got to sit down and listen to it like last week. And I think with the first few songs, I'm not gonna. My first thought immediately was like, "Yep, it's sounds like Tortured Whole." And I kind of dismissed it at first, and then I was kind of like, "No, do your fucking job, Robert. Like, actually sit down and listen to it. Don't be a dick." And then after that, I was like, you know what? Damn, these riffs kind of go hard, and that guitar tone is sick. And something I really admired too is that you guys, it's not something that's being like talked about a lot because I don't think this song has been released as a single. But there's a moment of like emotional vulnerability through what's it called, Mortal Admonishment, which I really appreciated. For those of you watching this, I don't know if the album will be out yet by the time this video comes out. This song is based on your experiences dealing with the death of your grandma and grief. Did it feel really weird or uncomfortable kind of putting that stuff to tape?
Nah, man. It was a really good moment. I mean, writing it and coming up with the stuff like just like really rash and involuntary thoughts that I had like at that time were resurfacing and stuff while I was writing it, and the fact that that I kept in mind is that I'm putting all that kind of emotional vulnerability to good use and being productive with it. Um, Felt really good, man. It I she was she was a really good woman. So if there's in any way I can honor her memory, I'm going to do so. I live for it. So
No, I think it's really great. It's not something you see a ton of in death metal unless you go to like melodic or progressive death metal, and even then, there's it's usually done through some kind of analogy or metaphor with like a battle
rose up
or
on me.
something like that. Oh, we're good. I think you're all good. There we are.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, typically, like you won't see like an old school death metal band or like a brutal death metal band going into that kind of
Mhm.
territory or being especially open about it. I think that's really great to see.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. The album in its own, it just kind of has that theme of different sides of death. There's that mourning and sad feeling. There's people that kill or die out of vengeance. We kind of explore like that entire like realm. That's why we called it ecstasy, is because it has feelings and everything behind it.
And how did the collaboration with Aaron Heed from Jesus Piece come together on Face Ripped Off?
Yeah. Um, Aaron has been a big fan since our demo. Um, he goes way back. His band Jesus Piece played Columbus a lot, and we've known each other for a couple years now. And when we played in Philly. He came out on stage with us at First Unitarian, and everyone was so stoked about it that it just came naturally. Like there was a bunch of vocalists that we wanted at the time to do at least one guest spot. He was definitely at the top of the list, and he was also able to knock it out in his house. So that was pretty cool. And then where we filmed that music video was about an hour away from his house, so it was easy for him to like just get there and hang out with us and shoot his part and stuff too.
Were there some other? What were some of the other collaborators you had in mind, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I wanted to use either John Gallagher from Dying Fetus, Frank Mullen, Suffocation.
Hell
Um,
yeah!
yeah, huge Frank Mullen fan. And then I don't know, I had a bunch of weird ones too. I was like, man, it'd be cool to get like Kirk Winstein or someone of that, someone you
That'd be
wouldn't
kind
think.
of. He's done a few interesting collabs over the years. That feels weirdly possible.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd do it. Uh, yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of ideas that we had, and then we were just thinking about like, we could even just go as far as just hitting up friends. So I think every album we might explore the option of doing at least one guest vocal spot for somebody.
Okay. I want to ask. You guys dropped Necrosexual Deviant just a few months after Tortured Whole had come out.
Mhm.
And I mean, even since then, there was a live album. I think Pornographic Seizures got reissued. I think there was, if I remember correctly, there was an EP as well. Obviously, I don't expect y'all to have another new album after this, like in a month. But considering the work ethic, is it safe to assume that you're already working on something?
Yeah, I mean we have riffs that we've been tossing around. We actually just met up for rehearsal for the first time this past weekend. It was our first time meeting up since we came back from Europe, and yeah, at that time, Cedric and Drew, they were writing a lot of riffs, so they came together, and we have we have a doll and everything like on our computers, so we recorded everything that they had and put drums to it, and as time goes on, yeah, definitely those are gonna carve into songs. But yeah, for right now, it's just ideas we're throwing around for back pocket type of stuff.
Hell yeah. And I also just wanted to know in general, um, you guys have a lot of weird merch. Like I remember seeing like a long sleeve, like maybe a few months back ago, with like Bugs Bunny spanking Lola Bunny or something like that. It was wild. I was caught off guard by that. What's the wildest piece of merch that you think you've done? And what kind of like what would you like to do next? Like what kind of wild merch could the fans expect? Because I know that that's kind of a people really talk about that every time it comes out.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one you mentioned. I think is the most wild one. I it's funny because like I'll come up with a gag or a joke and I'll send it to the group, thinking they'll laugh at it, and they'll be just like, "Sick, run it." And I'm like, "You're kidding me?" And they're
Just
like,
put it
"Oh,
on a
for sure."
hoodie. Great idea.
Yeah. So sometimes we do that. It's kind of like a little inside joke or like Easter egg in our lives. Like we like to be funny. But as far as like any wild merch, I don't know, man. I don't have any. I like I'm terrible at coming up with shit for merch because I'm so basic when it comes to like t-shirts and everything usually. And I want to kind of like get crazy with like the colors. Like I want to do like old school like wrestling style like merchandise colors like Warrior and Macho
Okay.
Man like the like purple shirts, gold fonts, bubble letters or whatever. Something
Oh, that'd
different.
be awesome. I like that a
Oh yeah.
lot. I imagine smack dab in the middle of all that, there would either be like the most gruesome, grotesque death metal imagery ever, or some more Lola Bunny, Bugs Bunny ass type nonsense. Like just something totally absurd.
Yeah, yeah. I was surprised how well that did, honestly, because we took that on the that terror run that we did, and I think we sold out of them in like 3 days. And then it came into question like, should we just keep putting them out? And I think we all agreed like, I feel weird driving with it like in a box. Like we get
I,
pulled over and they have
I
to like,
can't, yeah. I can't
I don't like
imagine like I can't imagine like going up like having to go through like customs at the Canadian border or some shit like that, or getting I don't know, like you're driving too fast, so you get pulled over somewhere, but like someone has to look at it and they're just like, "What the fuck is this?"
yeah.
And then you're like,
Yeah.
we're in a death metal band." Okay, but what the fuck is this?
And I've learned real quick, like if you're going through customs or anything, you could just tell them like, yeah, that's our luggage. So then they're gonna think that you're just going through shirts with Bugs Bunny smacking Lola Bunny's ass.
Just like, hey, fuck it. I remember like flying back from Philly in like 2017 from like a concert, and I got like Municipal Waste had just done that T-shirt with like Donald Trump shooting himself in the head,
I have that
and I
shirt.
got hell yeah, and he had just gotten elected like a few months prior, and I got like a lot of weird looks at customs in the Philly airport when they opened up my bag right off the bat.
Oh, I bet. That's funny
Uh,
as hell.
Hell yeah. Is there anything like that you think would be so weird or so crazy that the rest of the band would say no to? Or do you guys think you'll just keep making like weird, crazy shit?
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that we would definitely say no to. I mean, they're not even ideas, but just gags, and like sometimes they'll message me like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "No," you know. But but yeah, I think as time goes on, if we see something that's bizarre, like the whole reason why we did the Bugs Bunny thing is because there's this corner store like by where we live that sells T-shirts of like Bugs Bunny smoking a joint and like counting money and wearing jewelry and
God,
shit.
that shit is so funny.
Yeah, so
It's so dumb, but it makes me laugh.
yeah, I think truck stop merch or something like that might be a thing for us to experiment with in the future. Something with like a flaming skull or a skeleton dude flipping the bird or something.
And like that kind of like bottom text style shit where it's like you come into my house, suck my dick, and call me gay. Like do some twist on that, some shit like that. You come into my house, suck my dick, and call me a Sanguisugabogg fan.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
What would you say is your favorite song off the new album, Homicidal Ecstasy?
Um, damn. Mortal Admonishment's definitely up there. Oh, no, as we start playing it more, I really like the song Narcissistic Incisions a lot. And then I like the last song a lot too. Fiending for Bloodshed. You know, we were
Hmm.
supposed to use that as a single, but you know, we might do a thing like a full album, like live in the studio type thing, and just do like a video that we did last time, so people can see us play and hear like a pretty cool recording of it as well.
Oh, cool. I think that'd be a really good idea.
Oh yeah.
I got one more question for you, and then I'll let you go. You guys have kind of blown up in like a short amount of time, all things considered. What advice would you give to like other new young death metal bands that are trying to make a name for themselves right now?
Yeah. If you're gonna start touring, uh, create an LLC. That way you could save your ass like on taxes and everything. Also, keep pushing your music onto people, and if you have a good support system, you know they'll share it to their friends, and pretty soon, you know, the list just goes on, and it's really easy to grow a fan base that way, especially in death metal. Word of mouth is usually key. You know, it's still a very underground genre. And if you're gonna tour, you know, tour till the wheels fall off. Don't say no to a lot of offers, and get used to saying yes, and work your ass off for it. You know, if you put all your heart and all your skill and all your work ethic into your band, definitely something will come out of it, regardless of what stage you're at or what kind of label you're on or whatever. You know, there's a lot of DIY bands that hit a lick and they're making a really good name for themselves. So any band can get it. You just got to put everything you have into it.
Hell yeah. All great advice. That LLC one in particular. I get so many people coming on and I'll ask them that question. It's like, "Oh, just believe in yourself." And that's good. Everyone please believe in yourself for the record. But also that LLC thing is a seriously actually great idea. Everyone do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Grow your band and make your band into a business, you know?
Oh, thank you very much, Devin. It's been a pleasure chatting with you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out Homicidal Ecstasy when it comes out February 3rd. Is it the 3rd or the 2nd? February
The third.
3rd via Century Media Records. Anything last minute you want to say to the fine folks at home?
You pretty much covered it, man. This was a really good interview. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'm happy you could be here. Ladies and gentlemen, look, there's more videos. Press this button, blah, blah, blah. And you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.